Hello and welcome to Benue Television News at 9. I am Susan Achin. In headlines, Governor Hyacinth Alia announces establishment of Benue Digital Infrastructure Council. Federal government pleads with Nigerians to shelve nationwide protests to commence on Thursday. The international Iran Supreme Leader promises harsh punishment for Israel in retaliation for alleged killing of Hamas's political leader. Benue State government has urged all sons, daughters and residents of the state to distance themselves from planned nationwide protest or any other form of religious activities capable of destabilizing peace in the state at the moment. Director General Bureau for Homeland Security, retired Air Commodore Jacob Gbamwan, stated this Wednesday at Government House, Makudi, while briefing the media on major resolutions reached during the emergency state security meeting. Correspondent Emmanuel Akola completes the story.
The State Security Council is having this emergency meeting regarding intelligence against the August 1st, 2024 planned nationwide protest. According to the Council, it is not in the collective interest of Benue State and the country at large. Director General, Bureau of Homeland Security, retired Air Commodore Jacob Gbamwan says the intelligence report also reveals that the planned nationwide protest has already been hijacked by bandits, political saboteurs, terrorists, enemies of the state and other criminal elements, as well as religious groups who want to hide under the protest to cause chaos and destabilize the peace of the state.
We have been credibly informed that some religious groups want to hide under the planned protest to cause chaos and destabilize the state. You are all aware that Benue State is a peaceful state and has not been known to witness any religious uprising or intolerance of any kind. We, the people of Benue State, therefore, condemn in total and unequivocal terms any plan by the religious group to cause problems in the state.
He explains that the meeting also acknowledges that Benue State has never been known for religious uprising and intolerance of any kind, condemns any plan by those religious groups to cause problems, saying that the government has the support of all security agencies who have been directed to deal decisively with anyone who intend to cause problems in Benue State. The Director General states that Governor Alia expresses hope that the people of Benue State will not sit and fold their arms to watch their state being destroyed, urging them to remain calm, focused, peaceful, and supportive of the good governance his administration is providing, which he notes cannot be truncated.
We are all aware of the good works of the governor, and we cannot afford anybody or groups of persons trying to truncate the good works through evil intents.
According to him, the governor expresses gratitude to the people of Benue State for their support to his government by agreeing to distance themselves from the planned nationwide protest. Emmanuel Akola, Benue Television News, Makudi.
More unions and groups have continued to assure Governor Hyacinth Alia of their decision not to join the August 1, 2024 nationwide protest in Nigeria. This is coming after the governor's interaction with the labor unions and groups at IBB Square Marketing. The latest declaration to the governor's call to stand down the move is the Benue State chapter of Nigeria Union of Teachers, NUT. Once again, correspondent Emmanuel Akola has the details of this report.
Ahead of the planned nationwide protest in Nigeria, Governor Hyacinth Alia impresses on labor unions and associations in the state on the need not to be part of the exercise. The governor cites the already volatile nature of the country at the moment due to insecurity, emphasizing the need for the people to rather strengthen their support for his administration and that of President Bola Tinubu's federal government in the drive to reposition Benue State and other states in Nigeria.
You have a feel that something is not right by your own prescription or by your organizational tenets and hopes. But the moment it departs from peaceful to anarchy, to destruction, to killings, and to all that, then it's gone way out of the prescriptions of the law.
In line with this, The leadership of teachers in Benue State under the umbrella of the Nigeria Union of Teachers (NUT) are assuring the governor of not joining the protest. The group justifies its decision to revert to the governor's call as part of his support for his people-oriented policies, mentioning his bold step in accepting to pay the 70,000 naira minimum wage to workers in the state at such a critical time. The teachers note that when fulfilled, it will ameliorate the present conditions of the people.
We remain committed to the administration of Father Elia and in one voice say the storm is over. We continue to be with you, the Reverend Father, because of the bold step you have taken to help teachers and bring teachers of Benue Public Primary School at the higher height.
The workers commend the governor for fulfilling campaign promises by giving his total support and granting local government autonomy in the state, aside accepting to pay at least a month arrears owed workers in the August salary payment. This they regard as true reflection of a leader with unflinching affection for his people, especially during the current economic hardship being experienced in Nigeria.
As an affiliate of Nigerian Labour Congress, we as union wish to call on our members to avoid a nationwide protest on end bad governance from 1st to 10th of August 2024.
The Nigerian Labour Congress, Trade Union Congress, Benue Motorcycle Association and Market Unions, and others such as National Union of Benue State Students, had also conveyed their decisions to the governor not to join the planned exercise. Emmanuel Akula, Benue Television News, Makudi.
As part of efforts to digitize governance and manage the security of the state, Benue State government has established Benue Digital Infrastructure Council. Governor Hyson Thalia announced this during Digital Security Town Hall meeting organized by Office of his Special Advisors on Security in conjunction with Ministry of Information in Marketing. Correspondent Martha Iku has the details of this report.
Protection of lives and property is key to the success of every government. This town hall meeting is put together by the Office of the Special Advisor to the Benue State Governor to address lingering issues around security of lives in Benue State. The government is aware that maintaining absolute security needs collaborative efforts of government and sundry. Moved by this, the Special Advisor on Security to the Benue State Governor put up this meeting to bring everyone on the same page. Benue State Governor Reverend Father Hyson Thalia says government has earmarked funds to digital security infrastructure as a strategic move. Represented by the State Deputy Governor Dr. Sam Ode, the governor says over 93 billion naira bond has been deployed to digital security infrastructure and devices to curb insecurity in the state and is expected to raise over 190 billion for the state in the next 10 years.
The Benue State Executive Council approved the establishment of business to manage security information designed to digitalize governance and enhance the management of our economy and our security, among other services.
He highlighted efforts that the earlier-led government is putting in place to change the security architecture of the state, calling for cooperation of citizens to help disseminate proper information to security agencies in the fight against insecurity.
We met a very terrible security situation. Every day, every night, we heard about killings. People were maimed, properties in millions and in hundreds of millions destroyed. We sat down and had to redesign the security architecture of the states. We also established a Bureau for Homeland Security.
The Special Advisor to the Benue State Governor on Internal Security, Chief Joseph Har, explains that the aim of the town hall meeting is to enhance synergy between conventional and non-conventional security agencies and the civilians. He stresses the need to be on the same page to stem the tide of insecurity in the state.
Insecurity is a menace that is a global issue.
that needs to be tackled head on. Unfortunately, there's a divide among the civilian populace and the law enforcement agents. Among the law enforcement agencies, there is no enough synergy. Elsewhere, there's infighting. Thank God for Benue State, our coming on board has drawn the law enforcement agents together to have some synergy and sharing of information together. So we want to draw the law enforcement agencies together to be on one group, and the civilian populace on one group. The two groups join together to fight a common enemy, which is insecurity.
On his part, the special advisor to the governor on external security and liaison, retired Colonel Alex Igbaya, says government is working to make life conducive for people who should not be pushed to protest. One after the other, stakeholders in the town hall meeting bear their minds on the issue of security. Stakeholders during the meeting focuses on issues around attacks on herdsmen, gangster activities, kidnapping, armed robbery, and other issues of insecurity. Martha Iku, Benue Television News, Makudi.
Commissioners for Industry, Trade and Investment, Manasseh Opin, says the present administration is determined to stimulate more activities that will allow businesses to thrive. Mr. Opin made this known during an on-the-spot assessment of Makudi Modern Market. Correspondent Mnaishan Dem has the details of this report.
Few weeks after the government of Benue State revoked a lease agreement entered with private partners concerning this market, the Commissioner for Industry, Trade and Investment, Manasseh Opin, takes a tour around the market facility to identify areas of damage with a view to improving on its infrastructure. Mr. Opin interfaces with the traders to determine an amicable resolution, such as an open policy created by government, where traders can freely express themselves about the challenges they are facing in the market. The Commissioner assures the traders that government will soon bring an intervention that will be serve as a solution to the drainage system to improve the security architecture of the market.
There are certain things that need immediate intervention in the market. Over 30 or more, 50 shops, nobody is buying them because there is waterlogged right in the frontage. There's no way you can operate those markets. I think that's one area that needs immediate intervention so that we can restore hope and confidence of both the traders and the buyers, people that go to market to buy things. We need to evacuate the refuge immediately. If these are things that we need to do some interventions as soon as possible.
According to the Trade and Investment Commissioner, the access road behind the village market will be closed to shut out persistent threat to commercial activities in that section of the market. Some traders acknowledged the state government's effort towards creating an enabling environment for trade to thrive and thanked the Commissioner for the visit. The Commissioner is accompanied by other management staff from the ministry on the visit. Mnaishan Dem, Benue Television News, Makudi.
In part two, after the break, Benue State High Court, presided by Justice Tetia Asusa, has dismissed the application filed by Samuel Utom, seeking extension of time for him to file his process against the Income and Expenditure Commission. We'll bring you this and much more right after this break. Welcome back if you are just joining us. This is Benue Television News at 9. Moving on, the Benue State High Court, presided by Justice Tatia Asuza, has dismissed the application filed by Samuel Otom seeking extension of time for him to file his process against the Income and Expenditure Commission of Inquiry established by Governor Hyacinth Alia from probing the income and expenditure of Benue State from May 29th, 2015 to May 29th, 2023. Correspondent Dosu Duku has more.
Justice Tatia Aswa, delivering his ruling on the application, which lasted less than an hour, dismissed the suits by the former governor on grounds of being status bearer, holding that the motion was filed outside the stipulated time. Reading the judgment, the presiding judge notes that after diligent scrutiny, the state's public officers protection law, upon which the former governor hinged his argument, there was no rationale for extension of time, thus rendering his application incompetent and lacking in merit. Reacting to the ruling, counsel to the second and third respondent, Stella Akiga, holding brief for Matthew Buka, SN, described the ruling as justifiable, laying the matter to rest. In the same vein, counsel to the 10th and 11th respondent, Raphael Adokele, said the application was belated, hence his dismissal was in order.
We thank God for the sound ruling that has been delivered by the Lordship. And as it has happened now, this case is gone. It's a dead case. There's nothing one can do.
Defense counsel standing in for 7th, 8th, and 9th respondent, Raphael Ashwe, standing in for Mohammed Ndarani, agrees with the ruling, adding that the issue the applicant was trying to push forward on the work done by the Auditor General of the state lacked merit.
They had filed an originating motion seeking to restrain the Commission of Inquiry from carrying out its responsibility on the basis that the job prescription, the terms of reference of that commission had already been done by the Auditor General of the state. And so for the applicant, it was more like a repetition. Okay? And then the terms of reference of the Commission of Inquiry, they were actually gazetted on the 27th of February. And then the law, both the Public Officers Protection Law and then the rules of the Honorable Court are saying that you have 3 months within which to commence this action. So counting from the 27th day of February 2024, they waited to the 31st day of May 2024 before they filed. So clearly it was outside 3 months. So what the court did, the court did justice to the case.
The State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice and Public Order, Fidelis Imnim, hailed the ruling of the High Court, adding that it was in order.
The court has given the Commission of Inquiry a clean bill of health. They will go on to do their work, and like I say, it's not a witch hunt.
The State Attorney General expresses dismay over the action of Samuel Otom trying to stop the Commission of Inquiry from investigating him, saying that Governor Hyacinth Alia has the right to know the financial records of the state.
Government is a continuum. Now, when Otom came into power in 2015, he took his time, his energy, and everything, engaged many lawyers to investigate the activities of Gabriel Towasuswa for the 8 years of his administration. So you have investigated somebody very, very vehement. Why you are afraid that you should not be investigated? Why are you running when nobody is pursuing you? Because the Commission of Inquiry, from the day they made, their first day of public hearing, I, who appear and deliver the message of His Excellency, clearly told the world that it's not a witch hunt. Is to look into the record, into the books, to making sure that the record of governance within the administration is kept clean.
With the dismissal of the suits, the Commission of Inquiry is now giving the go-ahead on its mandate to investigate the income and expenditure of the state from May 29, 2015 to May 29, 2023. Dosu Duku, Benue Television News, Makuri.
The federal government has pleaded with Nigerians not to proceed with the nationwide protest slated to commence on Thursday. Secretary to the government of the Federation, SGF, George Akume, made the plea at a World Press Conference in Abuja, attended by key federal government functionaries. Akume said that protest was not the solution to challenges which the administration was working tirelessly to solve. He stated that economic prosperity for the nation remains the ultimate goal of the administration of President Bola Tinubu because it is the engine that drives progress, lifts families from poverty and builds strong, resilient societies. The SGF said to achieve this goal, Nigeria must enjoy peace and stability upon which trust, cooperation and shared purpose can be built. He noted that when peace reigns, policies yield results, businesses thrive, investments flourish, and creativity is unleashed. Akume appealed to Nigerians to pursue the path of peace, dialogue and collaboration in addressing the challenges confronting the nation. He urged citizens to go about their lawful businesses, avoiding acts capable of disrupting the peace of the nation. The SGF assured that together a Nigeria can be created where peace and stability are not merely aspirations but realities, where economic growth is not just a goal but a tangible outcome, and where the dreams of the people are transformed into a shared national destiny. Meanwhile, the Senate on Wednesday urged Nigerians and promoters of the nationwide protest to shelve their plans in the interest of the nation. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, made the call during plenary after a closed-door session of the senators in Abuja. Various groups in the country are planning to stage a nationwide protest from August 1 to 10 against an alleged rise in the cost of goods and services, poverty and hunger in the country. Akpabio said the Senate reviewed the current situation as regards the impending protests and accordingly urges that 1 year is not enough to judge the present government. He urged the protesters to give the government more time to address their demands, considering the measures being put in place to improve the situation in the country. He identified the measures to include signing of the National Minimum Wage Act, sale of crude oil to local refiners in Naira, and implementation of the Student Loan Act. Others, Akpabio said, are the recently granted to the Southeast and Northwest Development Commission's bills passed by the National Assembly to further address development at the grassroots. He added that the Senate was willing to legislate on all matters that would bring succor to Nigerians. We now shift our attention to the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NEL Fund, which says it has disbursed over 1.72 billion naira as loans to 20,000 students in 5 tertiary institutions. Managing Director of NEL Fund, Akintunde Sawyer, said this at a news conference in Abuja on Wednesday. He disclosed that an additional 850 million naira would be disbursed before the close of work on Wednesday to another institution, bringing the total disbursed amount to tertiary institutions to 2.5 billion naira. The NEL Fund MD also revealed that all students offered loans will be given the sum of 20,833 naira as a monthly upkeep throughout the duration of their studies, explaining that the total amount each benefiting student would get is 250,000 naira. He stated that the agency has also approved 260,000 loans consisting of institutional fees and upkeep loans. Sawyer said that NEL Fund was collaborating with several key agencies and institutions to ensure utmost transparency and security. He added that the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, NFIU, Department of State Services, DSS, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, will work alongside the various banks involved in the process. The Iran Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has promised harsh punishment for Israel in retaliation for the killing of Hamas's political leader Ismail Haniyeh. This is from the International Scene. We'll bring you this and much more right after this break. Please join us again. Glad to have you back on Benue Television News at 9. We'll now move on to the international scene where Philippines President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has welcomed United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin to Manila, stressing the need for regular and open engagement between Manila and Washington to ensure an agile response amid continuing tension in the disputed South China Sea. Marcos has moved the Philippines closer to the United States since replacing Rodrigo Duterte in 2022. He greeted Blinken and Austin at the Malacanang Palace ahead of meetings with their Filipino counterparts Enrique Manalo and Gilberto Teodoro. Blinken said the talks were evidence of a steady drumbeat and a very high level of engagements between the countries. The Philippines is one of several Southeast Asian nations that claim parts of the South China Sea, and tensions with China, which claims almost the entire waterway, have risen sharply over the past year. Second Thomas Shoal, which lies about 200 kilometers from the western Philippine island of Palawan and more than 1,000 kilometers from China's southern Hainan Island, and where Manila carries out regular resupply missions to a ship that it grounded there in 1999, has emerged as a key flashpoint. Last month, a Filipino sailor lost a finger after a confrontation that Manila described as intentional high-speed ramming by the Chinese Coast Guard. While Manila turned down U.S. offers of assistance, it reached a provisional arrangement with China to manage differences, but the details of the deal have not been released. Blinken and Austin traveled to Manila after talks with their counterparts in Japan, another key U.S. ally in the region, where they announced an upgrade of the U.S. military command in Japan and labeled China the greatest. A strategic challenge facing the region. Meanwhile, protesters have taken to the streets again in Venezuela as opposition leaders are disputing the results of a weekend election that saw President Nicolas Maduro secure another term in power. The opposition's Maria Machado called for families to turn out for what she called popular assemblies across the South American nation. Machado told newsmen a day earlier that a review of available voting records from Sunday's election showed that presidential candidate Edmundo Gonzalez had achieved a categorical and mathematically irreversible victory over Maduro. The demonstrations come a day after Venezuela's National Electoral Council, CNE, formally confirmed that Maduro had been re-elected by a majority of Venezuelans to another 6-year term as president for the period 2025 to 2031. Rights group Foro Panel said at least 11 people had been killed in incidents related to the election count or the protests. Gonzalez, the opposition presidential candidate, has urged the country's security forces to respect the will expressed at the ballot box on Sunday and stop the repression of peaceful demonstrations. Meanwhile, President Maduro has dismissed international criticism and doubts about the result of Sunday's voting, saying without any evidence that Venezuela was the target of an attempted coup d'etat of a fascist and counter-revolutionary nature. He called the protesters violent agitators, directly blaming Gonzalez, his presidential challenger, for the deteriorating situation. Let's now join Loretta Uko for weather report.
Hello there, here's the weather report for Thursday. The unsettled weather will become more unpredictable as heavy rainfall is expected all through the day over parts of Makurdi, Otuko, Boko, Kasunala, with the temperature varying between 23 degrees Celsius low and 28 degrees Celsius high, humidity of 65% with 67% possibility of precipitation. In the Federal Capital Territory, we envisage a very cloudy sky with possibility of heavy rain Temperatures low around 22 degrees Celsius and high around 28 degrees Celsius. While in Kaduna State, we expect heavy rainfall in the morning hours towards the evening periods. Temperatures ranging between 22 degrees Celsius low and 27 degrees Celsius high. While in Abia State, we anticipate a very cloudy atmosphere with stormy rains, with the temperatures low around 22 degrees Celsius and high around 27 degrees Celsius. And that's the weather package for today. Join us again for another report. I am Loretta Okor.
Thanks, Loretta. Well, that brings us to the end of the news. But before we go, let's take another look at the top stories. In the headlines, we saw that Governor Hyacinth Alia has announced establishment of Benue Digital Infrastructure Council. We also saw that federal government has pleaded with Nigerians to shelve nationwide protest to commence on Thursday. Well, that was Benue Television News at 9. Thanks for watching. I am Susan Achin. Good morning.